We are about to start the class. Please, everyone, start the cameras. Please start your cameras. Thank you, dear students. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mr. Maurice, your English teacher. Today it's Monday, 17th January 2022. Thank you, all of you, for being here with me. I'm pretty excited to start a new week with you guys. For today's class, we're going to practice two different objectives. Objective number one, we're going to start it about the present simple tense. Focus on the third person spelling rules. Third person, right? So I need you to recall information from the previous module number one and also the module number two. That's quite fantastic. And we also carry out some activity, listening, and we're also gonna work in group. Before the starting, it's quite important, guys, you keep your cameras on. Remember, okay, try to keep your cameras on. I do respect your privacy, but this is an English class. By the way, I've noticed something pretty unusual in this schedule in the afternoon. I see some students don't like to participate during the class. Well, I have no idea what's going on with you guys. Cameras off, microphone off, no participation, no work individual, and no work in group. In other words, those students do not exist. Nothing. Alright? Just click on the button and say present, and then they left. No participation at all. Well, if those students continues working in that way, well, I will have to separate those students. I'm sorry, guys, but no way out. Okay, now it's time to start. Before the starting activity, please let me share my screen. Please give a minute. Okay, guys, you tell me, can you see my PowerPoint presentation? You tell me, can you see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, as I said earlier, today, dear students, we are going to focus on the present simple tense. Third person, okay? So I need you to recall, to remember everything you learned in the previous module. Remember the suffixes when you were with verb in the third person, like the one you see on the screen. You see the picture. That man is a teacher, is a math teacher. That's fantastic. Well, as you can see, we have a verb here. The verb teach. Can you see it? Teach. But there is something unusual here. This verb has a suffix. Can you see the suffix? The suffix es. Why do we add the suffix es for? Who can answer my question? why in this sentence we have the suffix es in the verb teach? You tell me. Who's remember that? Anyone? Don't you understand the question? I repeat. Why do we add the suffix es for? Don't you understand the question? Remember, this is the module number 3. I shouldn't speak in Spanish. Well, the question is, why do we have the suffix es in here? So basically, because it's the third person. Okay, guys, relax. This is what I'm talking about. Do you remember these rules? ¿Recuerdan estas reglas? Do you remember these rules? Okay, basically we have like different rules for the third person. Okay, the first column you see here, these are the verbs like push, teach, kiss, fix. Push, teach, kiss, fix. Okay, so all these verbs have something in common. They have the rule. For example, those verbs that end in the letter sh, ch, ws, and x, we have the suffix es. You see? Push, pushes. Teach, teaches. Kiss, kisses. Fix, fixes. Because it's the third person. So every time we work with a the in the third person, do not forget to add the suffix. Now, let's move on to the next part. For example, we said Sam never misses his TV program. As you can see, we have the verb miss. ¿Qué significa perderse? Nunca se pierde su programa de televisión. Aquí está conjugado en terceras personas. Como usted observa, el verbo presenta el sufijo es. Let's move on. In the same way here, you see, Gerardo, perdón, es un sustantivo propio que equivale a decir él. Por lo tanto, el verbo enseñar, teach, que termina en ch, pues tenemos que aumentarle el sufijo es. Okay, now, your turn, guys. Who can help me here? Anyone can help me to complete this sentence? Okay, but I want you to read the complete question, please. Read the complete sentence. Exactly. Thank you, sir. Yes. You see? Let's continue the other one. Another volunteer to read this sentence. Complete this sentence for me. Please, another volunteer. Okay, thank you. That's correct. Interesting. Now we have another kinds of verb, like the one you see on the screen. The baby cries a lot. So what's the verb in here? What's the verb? Cry. Yes, the verb is cry. But we have the third person as a subject. Baby. Baby might be either he or she. So it's third person. For this kinds of verb, we have another rule. Let's check it out. As you can see, we have two different groups. Group letter A and group letter B. In the group letter A, we have those verbs that end in the consonant or the letter Y preceded by a consonant. For example, we have the verb cry, and fly. For the third person, we change the letters. You see? Cry, the letter Y change into the letters I, E, S. In the same way, the verb fly, the letter Y change into the letters I, E, S. Now, there is something very peculiar in the group letter B. In this group, we have two different verbs. These two verbs also ends in the in the consonant Y. You see? What's the difference? That the consonant Y is preceded by a vowel, like pay and enjoy. So here we don't need to change the letter Y. We only add the letter S at the end. Pay, paid. Enjoy, enjoys. It's that clear? Let's move on. Who can help me with this sentence, please? Okay, let's check it out. Remember, the adverbs of frequency often usually go before the verb. Well, as you can see, we have the verb buy, means comprar. Tercera persona, aumentamos la letra S. Okay, let's move on to the next exercise. Another volunteer to complete this sentence for me.
She always says nice.
Correct. So the verb here is say, says. Alright, very good. Another one, please.
About her.
Perfect. Break it on. Excellent. You see the verb worry? The third person changed completely. Good. And now the last part for today's class, obviously about the grammar part, is the verbs. Some verbs are irregular. Algunos verbos son irregulares, irregular. When we're talking about irregular, so that means this verb has no rules. For example, take a look. We have three different verbs. The number one, have. Third person, has. Another verb, do. Third person, does. Another verb, irregular verb, go. Well, the third person goes. These three verbs are considered irregular verbs. Let's move on to exercises. Okay, your turn, please. Anyone? Come on, guys, not difficult. Yes, George, remember, is third person, so we use does. Please, another volunteer. Shirley.
For a walk on Sunday.
Yes, perfect. This one.
We always have homework.
Yes, has. Third person. She always has homework. Okay, now we need to learn about more verbs. Mostly, or most of the verbs, they're commonly add the suffix letter s only. You see the verb here? El verbo correr. You see? The third person, well, as I said, most of the verb we only add the suffix s. She runs 6 miles every day. Ok, la mayoría de los verbos en inglés, la gran mayoría, pues las terceras personas simplemente le aumentamos el sufijo s, como los que usted ve aquí ahorita. The suffix letter s. Most of the verb, but remember we also have in quotation mark more verbs with their own rules. Sing, sings, meet, meets, fight, fights, coughed, coughs. The other kinds of verb, well, don't forget those the ends in these letters. Los que acabamos de aprender, pues la mayoría de estos verbos que terminan en SH, CH, WS o X, le vamos a aumentar el sufijo ES para las terceras personas. So don't forget this, pretty important. Okay, on the other hand, we have these kinds of verb. Remember, those the ends in the letter Y, but they're preceded by a consonant. Let's continue. Now we have almost the same thing, but verb that ends in the consonant Y, but they precede by the vowels. You see? Perfect. And irregulars. These are irregular verbs. Okay, let's practice. I need more volunteer, please. Okay, thank you, sir. That's correct. So this verb ends in sh, pushes. Let's continue. Another volunteer, please. Okay, thank you. Well, I think you get the problem with the microphone, or is actually my computer. I hear nothing. I can barely hear you. Okay, so the child, what is the subject, third person. The child can be either a girl or a boy, so we have the suffix es. Brushes. Perfect. Let's move on. Please, another volunteer.
Brenda often dreams about her old home.
Yes. Dream, dreams, letter S, because it's Brenda. Subject, third person. Okay, let's stop this for a while and you tell me, guys, any question about this? ¿Alguna pregunta, por favor, respecto a la regla de los sufijos en terceras personas? Any questions? No questions. Okay, unbelievable. Okay, now, time to practice. We need to practice. We already know, refresh our mind with the rules about the third person spelling rules. The suffix s, es, ies. Once again the letter S and the irregular verbs. Now it's time to put those knowledge or the knowledge into practice. Okay, so give a minute and it's time to carry out the first activity for today's class. There you go. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation? Can you tell me that?
Yep.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, as you can see, we have some pictures. You see the pictures? We have many pictures in here. So it's time to describe. We're going to describe Mick. His name is Mick. Can you see the name? Mick. Mick's day. His name is Mick. And now we are going to describe his daily activity. Okay? So don't forget, before carrying out this activity, it's pretty important to remember the definition or the concept about the present simple tense. No olvidemos que el concepto, la definición del presente simple es describir nuestras actividades diarias, nuestras rutinas. Eso implica todas las actividades que hacemos desde que nos levantamos hasta que nos volvemos a acostar, pasando por despertarse, cepillarse los dientes, desayunar, ir a trabajar, escuchar música, dormir, hacer los deberes. Pues todo lo que hacemos, ¿ok?, en un día regular. Eso es la definición de present simple, ¿ok? Como usted está viendo estas imágenes, pues vamos a describir las actividades diarias de make. Como observamos, vamos a trabajar, a describir en terceras personas. Vamos a describir en tercera persona. Quiere decir que los verbos que vayamos a utilizar aquí tendrán que aumentarle el sufijo S, ES, IES o un verbo irregular, dependiendo del verbo que usted escoja, porque es tercera persona, ¿ok? Entonces, esta actividad se va a tratar de eso. Me vas a describir cada una de estas imágenes, ¿ok? Y después vas a hablar. De eso se trata. ¿Cómo la vas a describir? Pues sencillo. Listen, please. No tengo que estar hablando demasiado español. Es un tercer módulo. Okay, this is the way. For example, the picture number 1. So we start with the subject. Make is the subject. Make is the name, is the subject. Make. And then we look up the picture. Please, everyone look up the picture and think about it. What verb might be suitable for this picture? What verb might be suitable for this picture?
Get up.
Yes. So you said get up. Now you have to think carefully. Make is third person. So in this verb I need to add the suffix letter S. Mike gets up. And then we can give extra information. We can support our sentence with extra information. The extra information, well, once again we look at the picture and we can say this one. Make. Yes, bring it on. That's it. That's the way. In the picture number 2. So once again you look up the picture number 2 and make a positive sentence. I want you to make positive sentences in third person. In the same way, the picture number 3, make another sentence in third person. There is something quite important. Remember, for example, in this picture there are two different actions. You see, in this picture there are two actions. So that means you need to use two different verbs. Over here, in this picture, well, there are three actions. So you have to use three different verbs. Okay, so right now I'm gonna share this one. I'm gonna share this activity by using a link. You're going to click on the link and download the activity. Okay, so give a minute. Yes. So you have to use Okay, dear students, everyone click on the link and download the activity. Please, everyone download the activity. Click on the link. For this one, you will have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to describe all the picture. Third person, the subject is Meg. Meg gets up. Meg goes to school. Meg watches TV. It's up to you, right? Every single picture in third person. 5 minutes. Do it.
Mister, pero también se
También
puede
se puede
responder
responder
por
por
Pink,
Excuse me?
el
el
nombre
nombre
de
de Mike.
Yeah, you can use. No problem with that. He is up to you. No problem. Ok, esta actividad es para que tome su cuaderno como si estuviéramos en presencial y comience a desarrollar en su cuaderno. Ok, cada una de las imágenes. Les recuerdo que hay dos imágenes que presentan más de una acción. Había una imagen con dos acciones y otra con tres acciones. Ok, be careful. 5 minutes. Okay, Mr. Bahanya, I'm gonna share the link again. Please click on the link and register your attendance. Please give a minute. There you go. Please click on the link and register your attendance. Three minutes. Quickly, guys, you got 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Ok, chicos, antes de iniciar algo sumamente importante quisiera compartir con todos ustedes. Ya tenemos prácticamente una semana pues en el módulo y lamentablemente tengo ciertos estudiantes que, como dije al inicio, no sé si estarán en clases porque no veo que enciendan la cámara, no hay respuestas con micrófono, no participa en clases, no participa de manera individual, ni tampoco en grupal. Hay 5 puntos los cuales yo considero que debería al menos de los 5, 3 de ellos pues trabajar durante las clases, pero ninguno de estos 5 puntos he tenido respuestas. Entonces en esta semana pues se va a tomar cartas en el asunto. Si no hay ninguna respuesta se los va a separar y se va a mandar inmediatamente pues un documento al departamento de idiomas que ese usuario, en este caso el estudiante, pues no presenta, no hay ningún tipo de respuesta. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, dear students, before starting this activity, remember, the more information you give, the better grade you'll get. Alright? I mean, if you see the picture carefully, you will have more option to give details about its picture. Alright? I'm gonna pick one student for the 3 pictures. Okay, let's start. Maite Rendon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Miss. Okay, I need you to describe picture number 1, number 2, and number 3, please.
Okay. He is getting up. Six.
Go on. Continue. Go on means continue.
This phrase. 45. And he put his clothes on at 7 o'clock.
Okay, bring it on. That was good. Nice try. Thank you. A volunteer for the next 3 picture? Okay, Mr. Castro Carpio, thank you. Please describe the next 3 pictures. That's it? Well, thank you, Mr. Castro. I can barely hear you. Okay, can I have another volunteer for the same pictures? Okay, Mr. Alexander, please, the same pictures. Speak.
My in the morning distance in class.
Ah, you're describing this one. Okay, no problem. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Keep describing.
Between
between
30
past
past 12
and
and 30 to 40,
40,
he
he
has
has
lunch.
lunch.
In
In
the
the
afternoon,
afternoon,
he
he
does
does
his
his
homework
homework
and
and
then he goes
play
play with
with his
his
friends.
friends.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up another student for the other pictures. Let me see. Mr. Kevin Zambrano, can you hear me? Mr. Kevin, can you hear me?
Las tres últimas.
Yes, please.
Eh, y play, la última jugadora.
The three last picture, please. Las tres últimas imágenes.
Y play, off,
Mhm. Okay, no problem, sir. Please, mhm.
yes, yes, a,
Remember, the last picture have three different actions, so you need to describe the three of them.
TV, ring, BC, the family.
Okay, thank you. Well, dear students, I knew we need to practice a lot. Remember, in my class, I need you to speak. No more exercises about the grammar. You don't need more grammar. Come on, guys. Okay, the next activity, you're going to carry it out in group. Okay, you're going to carry out the next activity in group. What's the task about? Pretty easy. Let me share my screen. I'll show you. Okay, give a minute. There we go. Okay, in the next activity, you're going to work in group. 3 students per group. All right, what are you going to do? Pretty easy. Okay, in the exercise number 2, I want you to complete the gaps or the blanks using these verbs in the box. Remember, these activities are based on third person, so you need to add the suffix. In the number 3, once again, you need to check the picture and answer these questions. What time does Mother Meg wake up? So you have to answer this question. There are 7 of them. And in the picture number 4, in this picture, you are going to answer using your personal information. For example, what time do you usually wake up? So you say, I usually wake up at, it's up to you. It's your schedule. All right? You're gonna work in group, but the word is individually. You follow me? I repeat, you are going to work in group, but the activity is individual. You can help one to another, all right? If you need help or support from your partners, okay, do it in the group. If you don't understand something, you can ask one to another to complete the 3 different exercises. But at the end, I need you guys to send the assignment individually. Okay? You follow me? Helen Vera, do you understand? ¿Entendió? Miss Helen, did you understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay, relax. Remember, now you're going to work in group. 3 students, you can help each other, okay? If somebody says, I don't understand the exercise number 1, well, the student number 3 says, okay, no problem, Spaniard, I will help you. Okay, but at the end, you have to send the assignment to my Google Drive. I'm gonna share once again another folder for you to allow the activity. Something quite important before starting this one. Algo importante antes de iniciar esto de aquí. Por favor, no haga en línea la actividad que vamos a trabajar ahorita. Descargue el documento. No lo haga en línea. ¿Ok? Descargue el documento. Si no tiene cómo descargar o cómo editar después, pues, como siempre digo, hagamos como si estuviéramos en forma presencial. Su cuaderno con bonita letra y le tomo una foto. Se terminó, tal como lo podamos, como lo hiciéramos en modo presencial. ¿Ok? Si usted tiene cómo editar el documento, pues, fantastic. Ok, now let me share the link. Por favor, como les dije, no haga la actividad en línea, descargue la actividad. Come on. Okay, so that's the link. Click on the link, please, and download the activity. Download activity, please. By the way, for this one, you will have 6 minutes to complete. Okay, guys, good luck. 6 minutes. Please, everyone, break up rooms. Señor Jefferson, Ginger, Romina Caicedo, por favor ingresar. Romina Caicedo, por favor ingrese. Miss Romina ingrese, por favor. Se encuentra ahí. Miss Romina, ¿qué pasa que no puede ingresar a su grupo? Okay, dear students, let's continue. By the way, guys, please let me remark something. The previous activity that you did in group is for helping one to another, but at the end, you need to send the assignment individually. All right? In a few minutes, I'm gonna share the link for a Google Drive where you have to allow the activity. All right? Now, let's focus on here. Let's practice once again about the present simple. Remember, the easiest or the shortest definition or concept about the present simple is about describe our routines, describe our daily activity, describe our everyday's activity. All right? But most important for today class is how to work properly in the third person. Okay? Now, take a look. As you can see, we have a complete sentence. I get up at 8 o'clock. Well, that's pretty easy to understand. This sentence is in positive. Okay? But what happens when we need to turn this sentence into third person? Can you see the difference? Letter S is a positive sentences. Kevin gets up at 8 o'clock. So basically, that's the difference. We add the suffixes in positive sentences. We already practiced the different rules. Remember, we need to add suffixes. You see? I take a shower. I take a shower. There's no suffix. But if we need to turn this sentence into third person, once again we need to add the letter S. You see? Perfect. Now, what about this verb? The irregular one. We have breakfast. You see? Once again we got no change. We and they as a subject, the verb remains the same. Now, take a look in here. In the afternoon, my parents work in the garden. Parents is a plural subject, so there is no change in the verb. The verb here is work. You see? Nothing changed. Take a look. You see the difference now? It's the suffix. Okay? That's pretty easy to understand right now. Let me stop this for a while and you guys tell me. Any questions so far? ¿Alguna pregunta hasta aquí? Any question? Okay, Mr. Alexander.
Taller que hicimos ahorita, ese de ahí, que lo tenemos que subir o...
Sí, yo voy a voy a compartir un link en una carpeta de Google Drive para que ustedes lo suban individualmente. ¿Ok? Sí, individualmente. El trabajo que ustedes hicieron en grupo es para que se ayuden entre sí. De pronto uno pues no entendió bien o de pronto no quiso preguntar o no se acuerda quizás las reglas de las terceras personas, pues lo vamos a hacer así. ¿Ok? Entonces cada uno, grupos, entré a los grupos y como 3 que parecía un cementerio, nada de nada. Había otro excelente que estaban compartiendo inclusive pantalla y lo estaban haciendo. Felicitaciones. Pues así también se aprende, colaborando. De eso se trata estas actividades. Pero bueno, de los 9 grupos creo que la mitad sí y la otra mitad nada. Okay, dear students, now let's move on to the next part. Please give a minute. Okay, I'm ready. Listen please, for the next activity, it's time to practice how to make questions in the present simple tense. I clearly remember asking you about the two different auxiliary verbs for making question in the present simple tense. And some of you, well, did great. Let me share my screen. Please give a minute. Okay, please give a minute. Okay, there you go. For questions, okay, for question in the present simple tense, well, we basically have two different auxiliary verb. One, do, and the other one, does. Do and does, all right? We use these two words for making questions. Remember, we can say, do you, or does he? We have more variation. We can also say, do they? Or the another variation, we can say, does he? Or does she? Another variation for making question. Do I? Or does it? So we use the auxiliary verb do or does for making questions. Okay? Now let's try a activity. This is grammar activity. Okay? I don't like to work with grammar exercises in model number 3 or the model number 4, because in the model number 1 and number 2 you learn a lot of grammar. Okay, let's practice right now. So give a minute and we're gonna practice the next activities. Now take a look. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, as you can see, we have some sentences. All these sentences are in present, in affirmative structure. All of them, present simple tense, affirmative structure. Okay, give a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, dear students. Well, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3. They are 8 different sentences. Okay, all of them are in positive. 8 different sentences, they are in positive. What I need you to do, I want you to switch the positive sentences into question. Positive sentences into questions. You hear me? Ginger Macias? Can you hear me? ¿Me escucha, Miss? Yes? ¿Entendió lo que va a hacer, Miss Ginger? Did you understand what you're going to do? I repeat, Miss Ginger. They are 8 different sentences. All of them are in positive. I want you to switch these sentences from positive to interrogative. For example, the number 1. In the number 1 we said Alice gets out at 6. This is a positive, right? So, take a look. I need you to switch this sentence into question. Okay, so you say Alice is third person. Correct. So we start with the modal does because it's third person. And that's it. No more. You see? Alice get up at 6. So this is the question. Does Alice get up at 6? Alright, so you continues with other question like this one. You're going to switch from positive to questions. Alright? Now let me close this part over here. So you continues with the number 2 up to the sentence number 8. Alright? For this activity, dear students, you will have 5 minutes. Please, make questions. 5 minutes. Come on, practice. Make question. I'm going to pick some students to practice with me. 2 minutes left. Okay, dear students, we have just, oh Jesus Christ, we have just 2 minutes. I can't believe it. Okay, so you guys finished this activity, the 8 different, the eight exercises, switch them into question, and we continues tomorrow, right? We continues this activity tomorrow. Okay, antes que se vayan, por favor, todas estas actividades que estamos realizando van a tener un propósito al final, que es la exponer, ¿okay? Hablando inglés, obviamente, en tercera persona. Yo les voy a ustedes compartir un archivo de imágenes donde ustedes me van a tener que hablar. No desesperen, yo no quiero algo perfecto, obviamente, pero necesito sí que ustedes trabajen, obviamente, con la parte gramatical, pues produciéndola, tal como lo hicieron hace un momento, pero en forma escrita, describiendo las actividades de MIC. ¿Okay? Yo voy a cada uno de ustedes pues a darle algo parecido, donde ustedes me van a exponer pues actividades de una persona. Va a tener tiempo para prepararse, obviamente. De eso se trata pues todos estos ejercicios que hemos venido trabajándolos, desde present simple, future, terceras personas, y ahorita estamos trabajando en questions, ¿ok? Entonces, relax, take it easy. Lo más importante aquí es la participación. Recordemos que participación, actuación en clase, las actividades, tanto individual, tanto grupal, todo eso pues va a tener un promedio de 6 puntos, y el examen final es de 4. Entonces, si usted asiste todos los días, participa, trabaja, hace las actividades, pues de seguro que va a obtener los 6 puntos. Y de seguro que obviamente va a obtener un buen examen sobre 4. Como les dije, pues este módulo yo lo hago un poco diferente. Ya no hay ejercicios de gramática, ¿ok? A excepción de este que acabamos de hacer, pero lo otro es aplicarlo. Necesito que escriba y al final me tienes que hablar. Mi objetivo es ese, tienen que hablar, ¿ok? Mi objetivo es ese, que usted hable, que produzca el idioma, no más. Okay, dear students, so that's it. Thank you very much for having me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Study a lot. No me he olvidado de las preguntas que se envió la semana pasada, todavía están en stand-by. Sí me acuerdo, ¿ok?